Yeah, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize for the technical issues yesterday. I understand that many of you are not able to clearly understand hear what I was saying. So here's a re-recording of that just to help out with getting out my message. Of course, the topic is how do I build up my portfolio to meet the requirement for graduate school? And first of all, quick statistics. In the United States, an average, just a jump between bachelor's degree and a master's degree, statistics has it that you have an average jump in income by about $10,000, which is huge. Also, master's degree is gradually becoming more of like the what bachelor's degree used to be as of 1960. And that basically means that the demand for the competition basically for various positions is going to be much more competitive than it used to be. And so a lot of people are trying to get much higher degrees in order to be able to meet up with those requirements. First of all, when it comes to building your profile for graduate school, I classify those into two main groups. One is the pre-admission, before you actually get admitted into the grad school for whatever you intend to study. And the next would be after you eventually get admitted. How do you poise yourself to set up yourself basically for success? So first of all, for the pre-admission, the first thing would be getting familiar with the various admission policies. And that varies widely between different countries, different universities, and also where you're coming from. So like US, Canada would require you to write GRE, IELTS, and basically not all universities would ask for GRE as well. So I think the first message as far as admissions policies are concerned is to get yourself acquainted with the university you're seeking for admission, their policies when it comes to admitting graduate students. And that you can always find on their website. You have IELTS, which is basically a test of English. You have research statements, which for most graduate studies, you will find yourself in doing research in some capacity. And so many a times they would want to see like a research statement, some vague ideas on what you want to do as far as research is concerned. Then you have statement of purpose, which basically tells them who you are and what you're trying to achieve, what you've achieved in the past, and what you're trying to achieve going forward during the admission and even afterwards. And also, depending on if you're looking for funding or not, the level of details that you need to get into as far as like making these items very very detailed would vary depending on if you're looking for funding or not. The next thing you would want to do is to identify an area of research that you want to work on. And basically, these can be found, or you can get ideas about these from doing literature search, using various online repositories. But take note, at this point, you really don't want to get too detailed into like the very specifics of what you will be doing during grad school. Then the next thing you would want to do is identify a professor, someone you're going to be working with. Keep in mind, this person is going to be working with you, or you're going to be working with this person for 2 years minimum, maybe more than that, depending on if you're doing master's or PhD. And so it's very important for you to identify someone that you really like what he's doing and you think you are compatible with him or her. And once you've done that, you establish communication. You send a tailored down introduction letter and statement of purpose. As much as possible, try to make the message you sent to this person tailored for him. So don't use generic emails. Sometimes you find people doing that. I also did that when I was trying to get into grad school. So yeah. So now, after you have identified the professor, I will take a jump. So I'm making an assumption that you've applied, gotten admitted, and now you're in grad school and you need to proceed from there. And so that brings us to the post-admission. And primarily for most grad school, you would need to do lots of research. It's most of the times they are based off on research. And so you would find yourself needing to go through a number of steps, which I have outlined here, of doing a lot of literature research, aligning what you find in the literature with also what your professor wants you to do. So it's very important for you to, that's why the selection process of the professor was very important, because you would need to constantly try to align your work with the direction your professor is trying to get into. And basically you would find yourself doing research, experiments, writing, doing lots of simulations and so on. At some point you would need to write a research proposal where you would need to present to a committee. Usually its committee will be assigned to you. They would be responsible for saying, oh yeah, he or she has done work worthy of being assigned or being given, conferred the degree of whatever, master's degree of XYZ or PhD or whatever. And so you would need to present this proposal to them, and as much as possible, you would get your ideas straight, like making them much more narrowed to the specifics of what you aim to achieve after the years of your studies. However, take note that even though you have presented to your committee, and assuming it has been approved by them, while you're going through the research, doing your experimentations, and so new ideas might come up that could require you to refine what you have initially presented. And so it's basically going to be a lot of back and forth refinement, consistent refinement, until you eventually do your final presentation and conferred with the degree. And just while you're going through this process, you're going to be dealing with lots of data. So you're going to generate some of them, some of which you are going to generate, some of which you are going to get from external sources, such as like in data banks, from other online resources. And your duty is going to be to interpret the data that you have been able to generate or that you have, and come up with new insights into how they can improve a certain area of field that you are working on. There are a lot of resources out there that can help you with your research in your grad school, and even beyond, actually. One of which is Google Scholar, which guides you or opens the way basically for you to access a ton of online resources, papers, literatures, patents, the list goes on. You would also need to make use of various software packages, ranging from simulation softwares to referencing managers, to type text editors. Those would really come in handy when doing your research and even when reporting your research, and also getting your ideas straight, helping you to get your ideas straight. One very important resource, in my opinion, going through grad school are your team. By your team, I mean your professor and other students that are working in your laboratory together with you or under your professor. Many times you would find yourselves having to like share ideas, discuss on various research topics as it relates to your research, and you get lots of insights from them. One final point when it comes to going through grad school, because it's going to be 2 years or more of dedicated work in a certain area, and it's very easy for you to lose focus and just stay on your work and forget about everything else that's happening around you. But don't forget to have fun, because it's very easy for you to get burnt out if you don't. Thank you very much. And although this is a recording, I would be very happy to have your questions. Feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me through the Ignite Research Academy. Once you get your questions across, you can also get my contacts from them, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, clarifications, or need guidance on how to get to grad school. I'll be very happy to guide as much as possible. Thank you very much for listening.